this video, we're going to be going through the SAT calculator calculator portion of practice test number 10, and let's just get straight into it. So, helicopter initially hovering 40 feet above the ground begins to gain altitude at a rate of 21 feet per second. Which of the following functions would represent? Okay, this one would be B, because let's just go through it. We know that it initially starts at 40 feet, so let's just write a y equals mx plus b, where b is going to be the initial value or the y-intercept, and then m is going to be the slope. So we know that it gains altitude at a rate of 21 feet per second. So this is 21t, okay. This has no t value, so this would just be y equals 61, so it's not this. And this has 40t, and we know that it initially hovers at 40 feet. So this is supposed to be our initial value, and it has t with it, so this is incorrect. And then it says that it gains altitude at a rate of 21 feet per second, not it descends, it gains altitude. So the answer would just be y equals 40 plus 21t, and then this is also equal to y equals 21t plus 40. And now here's number 2. So a text messaging plan carries a flat fee of $5 per month for up to 100 text messages sent plus 0.25 for each additional text message. Okay. So let's just look through these graphs. We know that it told us that up to $100, that's a flat fee of $5. So, okay, this one, up to 100, should be a flat fee of $5. Why is it going up? So it's not C. And with D, it's going down. No, the price is going up. The price is constant, actually. So here, up to $100, it remains constant at a flat fee of $5. So these A and B are both good. And then after 100 messages, you have to pay 0.25 for each additional text message. So it wouldn't descend because it would ascend. The graph goes up because from here, so the more text messages you send after 100, you have to pay 0.25 for each additional text message. So the price is going to go up. So the answer would just be A. We have Jake buys a bag of popcorn. He eats half of the popcorn during the first 15 minutes. After eating half the popcorn, he stops eating for the next 30. So far, he's going to eat for the first 15 minutes, and then for the next 30 minutes, he's not going to eat. Then he gradually eats the popcorn until he spills all of it on the floor. Which of the following graphs could represent the situation? So the axis we have here is amount of popcorn in the bag with respect to time. So let's just go through and look at these and see which one of these match our scenario. So for 15 minutes he eats. So the first 15 minutes, so this first 15 minutes, it should be descending. And it looks like here for the first 15 minutes, for the first 15 minutes on this one, instead of going down, because since he's eating popcorn, the amount of popcorn in the bag is going to shrink because he's eating it. This one is going up, so it's not D. And now let's look at the next one. It says, after eating half the popcorn, he stops eating for the next 30 minutes. So for the next 30 minutes, he doesn't eat popcorn. So 15 minutes plus 30, 45. So up to the 45 minute mark, it should be constant. So here is the 45 minute mark. Here's 45 minutes. Here is 45 minutes. 45 minutes, and here is 45 minutes. Here is the 45 minute mark. 45 minutes. So let's see. At the 45 minute mark over here, he starts descending, but we know that he doesn't eat at that point. And then we also know that at the end he drops, but for some reason there's a sudden spike. So A is incorrect. And then on this one, okay, for the next 30 minutes, so from 15 to 45, for these 30 minutes, it stays constant because he's not eating. Okay, this checks out. And then he continues to eat, and then he spills it all at once. So B would be the correct answer. Because with this one, somehow he got a refill, and then he spilled it. But with this one, okay, he ate for the first 15, he didn't eat for 30, he ate slowly, and then he spilled it all at once. So B would be the correct answer. For this one, it says 20 minus x equals 15. Therefore, let's just solve really quick. This is going to be x equals 5. What is the value of 3x? So 3x is going to equal 3 times 5, which is going to equal 15, which is C. And for number 5, we know that f of x equals x plus 3 over 2, and then we want to find the value of f of 1. So for this, I'm going to use Desmos. F of x equals x plus 3 over 2. And just a disclaimer, you can't use Desmos on the SAT. You can only use the TI-84. And I know Desmos is way powerful than the TI-84, so I'm only going to use Desmos within the realm that it matches along with the TI-84, just so I can show you guys for demonstration purposes. But on the TI-84, you can say on the graphing part, x plus 3 divided by 2, and then you can press on table, and I'll show you the value of the function at that point. And I should probably make a video explaining the features of that and really how to manipulate, or not manipulate, to properly use the equation, because the graphing calculator, because it really can save you time. Well, we know that at f of -1, it equals 1. So let's go back, equals -1. And that is that problem. And now let's move on to number 6. So this one says, which of the following is equivalent to 2x, x squared minus 3x? So let's just distribute. So 2x, x squared minus 3x. And we're going to distribute, we're going to distribute this 2x. And that's going to get us, 2x cubed minus 6x squared, which is indeed D. And now we just move on to the next one. So for this one, a retail company has 50 large stores located in different areas of the state. A researcher for the company believes that employee job satisfaction varies greatly from store to store. Which of the following sampling methods is most appropriate to estimate the proportion of all employees of the company who are satisfied with the job? So selecting one of the 50 stores at random and then selecting each employee at that store. No, this is just incorrect. Just survey-wise, if I want to survey the 50 stores, I don't go to one store and ask every employee over there. That does not give me a gauge of, I hope I pronounced that word right, of all 50 stores. It only gives me a sense of that one store. So selecting 10 employees from each store at random and then surveying each employee selected. The answer would be B, but I know that because I've done this before. And this just makes sense because I have 50 stores. I'm going to select 10 employees just randomly from each store, and then I'm going to survey them. So let's go to C and D just to show why these are incorrect. Surveying the 25 highest paid employees and the 25 lowest paid employees. This is incorrect because the 25 highest paid, they're like very, very likely to be satisfied with the job. And then the 25 lowest paid is going to be very likely to not be satisfied. So this really doesn't give us a gauge of the average worker. And then creating a website on which employees can express their opinions and then using the first 50 responses. This is incorrect because just sampling wise, you don't take the first 50 responses. You need to ensure that it's randomized and it properly reflects the your sample group. So that would be B. And then for number 8, the two graphs above show the total amounts of money that Ian and Jeremy each have deposited into same accounts for the first 10 weeks that they're opening their accounts. After they made their initial deposit, how much more did Ian deposit each week than Jeremy? So this is just asking us for the slope. What is the slope of these two lines? So now let's look. So for Jeremy, we know that for every 1 week, he goes up $100. So Jeremy, or let's just write J for Jeremy. Jeremy deposits $100 every $100 per week. And let's look at Ian. Ian, for every 2 weeks, he deposits $100. So Ian, for every 2 weeks, so he deposits $200 per he deposits $100 for every 2 weeks. Which means he deposits $50 per week, per week. And then 100 minus 50, because that's going to be the difference between them, is just 50. So that's the difference in between their slopes, because we know that for every 1 week, Jeremy deposits $100, and for every 2 weeks, Ian deposits $100. And that is number 8. And now this is number 9. H of x equals 2x. What is the value of h of 5 minus h of 3? Here we would go back to Desmos. H of x equals 2 to the x. h of 5 minus h of 2 is going to equal 28. And then you can also do this by hand. 2 to the 5th minus 2 to the 2nd is going to be 28. So let's go back. Oh no, sorry. It is 2 to the 3rd. 2 to the 3rd here, and then h. So h to the 5th minus h to the 3rd is going to be 24. And you can do this via the graphing calculator, or you can just do the math. 2 to the 5th minus 2 to the 3rd is going to be 24. So this answer is C. And for number 10, this is all just a bunch of words. The researcher estimated that 23% of students in the population saw a movie at least once per month. The margin of error is 4%, and which is the most appropriate conclusion. So we know that he estimated 23%, and we have a plus minus 4%. So the percentage is 23%, and then the margin of error is plus minus 4%. Okay, so it is unlikely that less than 23% of students saw a movie at least once per month. This is incorrect because it's unlikely that less than 23%, because the range for our values is 23 minus 4, which is 19. So the range is going to be 19% to 23 plus 4 is 27%. That's the range of our values. So it's not that it's unlikely that less than 23%. So A is incorrect. At least 23%, but no more than 25. No, that's incorrect because it's not at least 23. It's at least 19 and no more than 27. That's our range because we use this margin of error. The researcher is between 19% and 27% sure that most students see a movie at least once per week. So if you're going by fast, you say, oh, 19%, 27%, those are my numbers. The answer is C. But that's incorrect because he says the researcher is between 19% and 27% sure that most students see a movie at least once per month. So he's confident in, or let's reword it. So he's confident that his data is correct by 19% to 27%. That he knows that, okay, I'm between 19% to 27% sure that most students see a movie. That's incorrect. C is just wrong. So by elimination, D is correct, but let's look at it. It is plausible that percentage of students who see a movie at least one per month is between 19% to 27%, which is what we got because he got 23%, but he has a margin of error of 4%. So now let's look at this question. So the table above shows two lists of number. Which of the following is its true statement comparing list A and list B? And the means are the same, the standard deviations are the same. Mean is the average, standard deviation is the change away from, it's the rate, or I don't know how to properly describe it. It's how much do values deviate away from the average. So before we do that, we have to find the average. So the average of list A is going to be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. And how many numbers do we have? We have 6. So divide that, we have 7 halves. And now for the other one, for list B, we have 2 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 5. Divide that by 6, we have 7 halves. So the means are the same. So the averages are the same. So the means are different? No, they are not. They are the same. The means are different? No, they're the same. So now we need to figure out, is the standard deviation the same or are they different? So the answer for this one is going to be A, and let me just walk through it. So we know that they have the same values of 3 and they have the same values of 4 and 5. So these three are they both have a value of 2. Okay, wait. We know that the mean or the average, mean or average, average equals 3.5. And now we just need to see which numbers deviate farther from 3.5. So the farthest number over here is 2, and the farthest number over here is 5. But the farthest numbers for list A is 1, and this one is 6. So we really don't even have to go through the process of standard deviation, because we know that 1 and 6 are definitely farther than the other values. And that seems like a bit of a rushed explanation, but that's basically all you need to know. That once we find the mean, we eliminate C and D, and then between standard deviation, okay, the average is 3.5. 6 and 1 are farther away from 3.5 than 2 and 5. So there was no need to really go into the statistics of standard deviation. So a book was on sale for 40% of its original price. The sale price of the book was $18. What was the original price? So let x be original price. Let x be original price. X times 0.6, because we know it's 40% off, so that means that I paid only 60% of the original price, equals 18. X is going to equal let's write it like this: 6/10 x times 6/10 is going to equal 18. Therefore, x is going to equal 18 times 10 over 6. And now let's just run through this math really quick. 18 times 10 over 6 is going to be $30. So this book cost us $30 beforehand. And then, of course, you can just go back and check if you want. Okay, $30 times 0.6, it's 18. And that is number 12. For number 4, we have a termite colony of A, B, and C that were treated with pesticides. And then every 2 weeks it was applied. And then this is just a bunch of info. Okay. So which of the following colonies showed a decrease in size every 2 weeks after the initial treatment? So for this one, we just have to look at see which one has consistently declines. So for number A, it was at 80, and then it went to 60, and then it went to, let's say, 35, and then it went to 20, let's say, or 25, and then it went to, let's say, 19. So A consistently declines. For B, okay, it was here, and then it went 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 here. So it's always consistently declining. But C went up, and then it started going down. So the answer for this one would just be colonies A and B, which is option C. And then now for the next question, it would tell us on the following, which is the closest to the ratio of the total number of insects in all 3 colonies in week 8 to the total number of insects at the time of initial treatment. So we want the ratio of the total in week 8 to the initial treatment. So we can just estimate. So let's say we have 20 over here. So because we want a ratio. So let's say in colony A, we have 20 termites. And then here in column B, we have 10. So 20 plus 10. And then up here, we have, let's say, 50. So that is how the total number of termites, and that's approximation, of course. And with the ratios, we don't have to be perfectly precise. That's how much we have in week 8. And then in week 0, we have 80. So this is a clear 80. We have, we can say, plus 65. And then we also have plus 60. Or if anything, we can just say 60 and 60. But we should be pretty close anyway. So we have 20 plus 10 plus 50 over 80 plus 60 plus 60, which is exactly 2/5. If we did put 65, it would be 0.39, which is essentially just 2/5. So if we could have estimated 65, we could have estimated 60. Either way, the answer is clear. It is 2/5. So this is 2 to 5. Sorry, this is 2 to 5. A right circular cone has a volume of 24 pi cubic inches. If the height of the cone is 2 inches, what is the radius? For this, we'd have to go to the formula sheet that they give us. So volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared height. Volume of a cone is 1/3. Volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared height. And the volume is 24. What is the radius? So we know that 24 pi is going to equal 1/3 pi r squared times the height of 2. So I want to do a couple things at once. The first thing I want to do is cancel out these pi's, because these cancel. And then 24, therefore 24 is going to equal 2/3 r squared. R squared is going to equal 24 over 1 times 3/2. R is going to equal the square root of 24 over 1 times 3/2. And then over here we can cancel. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 24 divided by 2 is 12. So radius is going to equal the square root of 12 times 3, which is going to equal 6, because here I'll run through the motions, which is going to equal 36, which is square root of 36, which is going to equal 6. So the answer for this one is just B, 6. And then we just did this by using the equation given to us on the formula sheet. So for this one, it says the population of city X and city Y were equal in 2015. And from 2010 to 2015, the population of city X increased by 20% and the population of city Y decreased by 10%. If the population of city X was 120,000 in 2010, what is the population of city Y in 2010? So first of all, what is the population of, I want to ask, what is the population of city X in 2015? Well, we know city X increased by 20% over these 5 years. So it's going to be 120,000 times 1.2 is going to equal population in 2015. This is going to turn out to what is this going to be? I mean, yeah, I can probably do the mental math, but it's easier to just do the to just use a calculator. So this is going to be 144,000. So this is going to equal, which equals 144,000. And then we know that the populations were equal in 2015. So we know that for so this is in terms of city X. So we know that, let's move it to the terms of city Y. So we know that the population in 2015 of city Y is equal to the population of 2015 in city X, because it told us right over here. So, and we also know that here, the population in 2015 was 144,000 people. And then we know that from the initial, so let me define this variable, let X be population in city Y in 2010. This is going to be X times, we know it decreased by 10%, so 0.9. This is going to be 144,000. It's going to equal 9/10 X. Therefore, X is going to equal 10 times 144,000 divided by 9. This is going to turn out to be 160,000, and that's how we solved the problem. So this was a two-step problem. And now we move on to number 17, where it tells us this is the volume of a sphere, which of the following gives the radius of the sphere in terms of the volume of the sphere. So in this case, we just want to solve for the radius. So we know volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed. And now let's multiply, let's just, here. So volume, so 3/4 volume is going to equal pi r cubed. And now divide this by pi, we're going to get 3v over 4 pi is going to equal r cubed. And this is going to be r equals the cube root of 3v over 4 pi, which indeed is the correct answer. So the correct answer would be D. For this one, this is just reading. Based on the table, which of the following is closest to the probability that a table user answered always, given that the tablet user did not answer never? So for this, we want to find out what's the probability that they answer always if they didn't answer never. So first of all, all this, so all these numbers are here. All these numbers equal 100%, right? Because it's percent per 100. So first, let's find out what percent of people don't say never. So it's going to be, or answer an answer besides never. So that's going to be just 100, or 1 actually, or 1 minus 0.313. Let's go over here. It's going to be 1 minus 0.313. So the percentage of people who don't say say never is going to be 68.7%. But let's just leave it in terms of decimals right now. And now we want to figure out which percent of them are going to say always if they don't say never. So that's just going to be the percent that say always divided by the percent that don't say never. So 3.9, this is going to be 3.9, 0.309 divided by 0.687. That's going to be 0.449. That's approximately 0.5, which is answer C. And that's how we would solve that specific problem. And for number 19, it tells us that in the equation above, A is constant. The graph of the equation is a parabola, which is the following is true about the parabola. So since we have this negative coefficient over here, I know that this parabola is going to look like this. I know this parabola is going to look like this. And I know that there's going to be a vertex at the point 3a, because you just derived the vertex from this formula. So this would give me the y coordinate of the vertex, which we know is a, and then the x value of the coordinate is going to be 3 minus 3 is 0. So what satisfies this equation? So 3 minus 3 is going to be 0. So this is just going to be 3. That's how I like to think about it. Like if I know I've brought up this example before, x plus 5, x minus 3, the answers to this equation is going to be x equals 3 and x equals negative 5. Because when I plug in 3 over here, 3 minus 3, 0. When I plug in negative 5 plus 5, 0. And then we know it's not a minimum because since it has this negative coefficient, I know that it's facing downward. So it's not a minimum, it's going to be a maximum. The vertex is going to be a maximum, and it's going to be at the point 3a due to the vertex formula. Now, the maximum value of a data set consisting of 25 positive integers is 84. A data set consisting of 26 positive integers is created by including 96 in the original data set. Which of the following measures must be 12 greater for the new data set than the original? And that's just going to be the range. Because it's not going to be the mean. Because if I added 96, because it says that which of the following measures must be 12 greater. So specifically 12 greater. That's not going to be mean, because if I add in a new value, that is, because we know that the maximum value here is 84, and then if I increase the maximum value by 12, that's not going to increase the average, which should intuitively make sense. It's going to raise the average by a bit, but it's not going to increase it specifically by 12. And the standard deviation is directly tied into the mean. And to the average, so that's just incorrect. And then the median is going to be the middle point, and that's not really going to be affected by 12 digits. It's not going to go up by 12 because that's just not the nature of median. It's just the middle range, the middle digits are the middle integer. But what is going to go up by 12 is the range, because if, let's say hypothetically, that the lowest number was let's say 10, and then the highest number was 84, but now is 96. The original range, so let's just write OG range, is going to be 84 minus 10, which is going to equal 74. And the new range is going to equal the biggest number, which is 96, minus the smallest number, which remains 10. This is going to equal 86. So the number did go up by 12 because the greatest number went up by 12. And now here's number 21. So for number 21, Clayton will mix X milliliters of a 10% biomass saline solution with Y milliliters of 10% biomass saline solution in order to create an 18% mass saline solution. The equation above represents the situation. If Clayton uses 100 millimeters of the 20% mass, how many millimeters of the 10% mass biomass saline solution must he use? So for this problem, the first thing that we'd have to do is just substitute in what we know. So we know that Clayton uses 100 millimeters of the 20% solution, and we know the 20% is Y. So wherever I see Y, I want to plug in 100 millimeters. So 0.10x plus 0.2 2 times 100 is going to equal 0.18x, and I'm just going to 0.18x, I'm going to distribute it, plus 0.18 times 100. And now for this, I need a calculator, which I'm going to pull up on a separate computer. So this is going to be 0.2 times 100, that's going to be 20. So I know 0.10x plus 20 is going to equal 0.18x plus 0.18 times 100. Oh, that's just 18, sorry. And now let's just switch everything to combine like terms. So 20, 18, subtract 18 from both sides, we get 2 is going to equal, subtract from here, this is going to be 0.08x. Now we just take our 2 and we divide it by 0.08, and that would get us an answer of 25. So x is going to equal 2 divided by 0.08. X is going to equal 25. And then this is just basic math that can be done on your calculator. So the answer is 25. The first year, Eleanor organized the fundraising. She invited 30 people. Next 5 years, she doubles the number of people she had invited the previous year. Which of the following statements best describe the function? Okay, it is not linear, just off the bat, because she doubles the number. So first year, she's going to invite 30. Second year, she's going to invite 60. Next year, she's going to invite 120. Next year, she's going to invite 240. That's just exponential growth. And definitely not linear. So it's not linear. And then the function f is decreasing exponential. No, she doubles. If it said she halves the number of people, so she'll bring half the people next year and then half of that half, that would be decreasing. But the answer here is just D, because it is not decreasing, and we know it's not linear. So that's just elimination. Now for this problem, it tells us that we have some values of x and the corresponding values of y are shown in the table above, where a is a constant. If there is a linear relationship between x and y, which of the following equations represent this relationship? So for this problem, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to go up here and write the point slope form. So y is going to equal m of x minus x1 plus y1. And you can also write it as, you could bring the y1 over there, but this way, in my opinion, is easier. So if we want to find what this linear relationship is, first let's just find the slope. So the slope, we know that m is going to equal y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's just use the point with 0 in it to make it easier. So negative a minus 0, negative a minus 0 over 3a minus a. 3a minus a, m is going to equal negative a over 2a, and then this can be written as negative 1/2 a. Yeah, so 3a minus a, that should get us negative 1/2, and then these a's actually cancel, sorry. Because up here we can write this as, because this can technically be written as negative 1 times a over 2 times a. These a's would cancel. This would just get us negative 1/2. So we know that the slope is going to equal negative 1/2. And then now we would just plug that into the point slope form by choosing a point. So let's let x1 equal a, and let's let y1 equal 0. And now let's just plug our equation together. So this is going to get us y is going to equal negative 1/2 of x minus a plus 0. And then we could technically do this with y equals mx plus b, but that really isn't that necessary. And then with this, the 0 is irrelevant, and then let's just distribute this negative 1/2. So negative 1/2 x is going to plus 1/2 a is going to equal y. And then now let's just write this in order to let's just rewrite this. I was going to say something, but okay. So for this problem, we're just going to rewrite this, and I'm not going to distribute the a actually. So, or this negative 1/2. So negative 2y is going to equal x minus a, and then let's just bring this x over here. And this is going to be negative x minus 2y is going to equal negative a. And now just divide by negative 1. A is going to equal x plus 2y, which indeed is the answer A. And that's just how we would get it, by using point slope form. So for this one, we're told a line of best fit is shown for the data above, which the following could be an equation of the line of best fit. So for here, we just want to find the slope. So, because we have 0.5, 0.5, and we have negative 2x and 2. So the first thing we want to know is that since this is growing and increasing, this slope of negative, these negative slopes are just incorrect. So our slope is between 0.5 and 2. And now let's do some math. So we know a slope is rise over run. So I go up 10 and over 20. So I went up 10 and over 20. That's just 1/2, which equals 0.5. The answer is B. Here's number 25. The system equation above is graphed in the xy plane. What is the x coordinate of the intersection? We could run through the motions of system equations, but I may be giving bad advice here by saying we can do this on a graphing calculator. So for this, I just want to rewrite both of these equations. So let's put a red over here. Let's put a green over here. And for the green equation, I'm going to rewrite this as 0.5y equals negative 1.6x minus 1.3. Y is going to equal negative 1.6x minus 1.3 over 0.5. And I'm not trying to diminish the importance of system equations. That constantly comes up on the SAT, and there are multiple problems about it. And it's definitely important, but just for the sake of time and demonstration, since this is the calculator portion, I'm willing to just graph it out and find the intercept that way. But definitely know and understand system equations. You can check out the Ultimate Key to AP to find stuff on system equations over there. But now let's just rewrite this red equation as negative 1.5y minus 2.4x plus 0.3. Y is going to equal negative 2.4x plus 0.3 over negative 1.5. And now let's just bring these equations over. Let me write it down on a paper so I don't switch in between the screens. And now we'll just plug these in. And then you can do this portion with your TI-84. Was 0.3 divided by negative 1.5. That's our first value. And then y, that's our first equation, sorry. And then this is negative 1.6x minus 1.3 divided by 0.5. The point of intersection is at negative 0.5 and 1, and that indeed is the answer, because that's just where the two systems intersect. So it is at this point negative 0.5. And this is just for demonstration purposes. Definitely no system equations. That's like guaranteed to come up on the SAT exam with like numerous questions. For this one, this is just a bunch of words. We know that that it grows by 1% every year, which of the following models the function p of t. So for this question, it's just D, and this is just by nature of exponential growth, because it grows by 10%. So this just is incorrect, because you need to have that growth of 1.01 because there's annual increase, and then this is just like the incorrect form. This has the 1.01, but you don't put that 1.01 in to the exponent. You put that over here, which would just be D, and then this is not 0.99. This is 1.01 because this is a 1% decrease. And then I'm just running through a little bit of the intuition behind this, because we have P of t equals 310 times 1.01 to the t. For the first, without any time passing, and year 0, it's going to be 310 times 1.01 to the 0. This just equals 1, so this is going to equal 310. So without any time passing, we have 310. And the second year, or in the first year, we're going to have 310 times 1.01 to the first, which is going to just be whatever this percentage is, 310 times 1.01. In the second year, we're going to have 310 times 1.01 squared, which is going to be 310 times 1.01 times 1.01, which is going to be the value from the year before. This is the value from the year before. And then we multiply that by 1.01 because it's exponential. Each value builds off the value before it. And that is part of the intuition behind that. Okay, so for this problem, let's just solve this equation. So this is going to get me 2/3. I want to pluck out a 3 actually. So this is going to be 9x divided by 3 is 3x. And then 6 divided by 3 is going to be 2. Minus 4 is going to equal 9x minus 6 equals 9x minus 6. These two cancel. 2 of 3x minus 2 minus 4 is going to equal 9x minus 6. And then from here, we would, let's add on this 4 and distribute. This really didn't turn out to be as useful as I expected it to turn out. Is going to equal 9x plus 4 over here minus 2. And then now let's just combine the sides. So this is going to be negative 4 plus 2, negative 2. And then 9x minus 6x is going to be 3x. Therefore, we know that x equals negative 2 over 3. And now let's just plug that into 3x minus 2. So 3 times negative 2 over 3 minus 2 is going to equal, these 3's cancel. This is going to equal negative 2 minus 2, which is going to equal negative 4. And that is the answer. The answer for this one is A. Now for this one, it tells us what is a possible value. So first of all, we have no negative coefficient over here. So this is not going to be downsloping. So it is neither A nor B. And because we know that it is an upward sloping. And then now we just need to see, we know that for sure one of our values is going to be x equals negative 3, and the other value is going to be x equals k. These are going to be our x-intercepts. And now we just need to find which one of these functions have an x-intercept at negative 3. This has an x-intercept at negative 2. This one has an x-intercept at negative 3. So the answer for this one is just D. The formula above can be used to approximate the height in inches of an adult male based on the length. What is the context of 1.88 in this context? So the approximate femur length in inches for a man with a height of 32.01 inches. This is just incorrect. I mean, how would you derive this? No. Approximate increase in a man's femur length in inches for each increase of 3.201 inches in his height. No, because we're trying to estimate the height, and this 3.201 is just the baseline for the scientific measure. So no, it's not B either. And sorry guys, my voice is going away, but for the next one, the approximate increase in a man's femur length in inches for each 1 inch increase in his body. No, that's incorrect. But with D, it's the correct answer just by elimination, because all of these are just whack. But for D, the approximate increase in a man's height in inches for each 1 increase in his femur's length. So for every 1 inch increase in his femur's length, this 1.88 is just going to be, or that's just the definition of 1.88 in these contexts. In this context, sorry. Okay, so in quadrilateral ABCD above, AD is parallel to BC. So AD is parallel to BC, and CD is 1/2 AB. Which of the following what is the measure of angle B? So this does seem hard, but we know something. We know that this, let's call this just question mark. This is 1/2 question mark. And by drawing this right triangle over here, I just found a special triangle. Because we know that special right triangles, this is given on the SAT, that a triangle like this, where this value is x and this is 2x, or you can write this in other terms that this is x, this is 1/2 of x, This angle measurement right over here is 60. So let's go back. Via this special right triangle, and this is in the unit circle and whatnot, that's a butcher triangle. If my triangle looks like this is 1/2 x, and then this is x, therefore this is 30 degrees, this is 60 degrees, and therefore that this angle, we know just by special right triangles, is 60 degrees, and you know that this is 90 degrees because we just made a square, so 60 plus 90 is going to equal 150. That answer is A. Okay, so for this one, we finished the multiple choice. For this one, Leanne has $8 spent on apples and oranges. Apples cost 0.65 each, 0.75 each. If there's no tax, she buys 5 apples, so it's the maximum number of whole oranges. So $8 is supposed to equal the 0.65 oranges, apples she bought, times 5, because she bought 5 of those apples, plus 0.75, let's call it x. Now let's just solve for x. X is going to be 8 minus 0.65 times 5 over 0.75. And now let's just go over there and write that down. 8 minus 0.65 times 5 over 0.75. Let's use our graphic calculator. 8 minus 0.65 times 5, that's that, and then divide that by 0.75. We get 6.333, but she can't buy a third of an orange. So to the closest number, she can buy a maximum of 8 oranges. Or not 8. She can buy 6 oranges. So for this one, the answer here is 6 oranges. For this one, we know that the interior angles of a triangle, that equals 180. If A equals 34, B plus C, so 180 is going to equal 34 plus B plus C. B plus C, that's what we want. 180 minus 34 is going to equal B plus C. Off the top of my head, what's that going to be? 146 degrees is going to equal B plus C. In the mean of the 5 numbers above, 1600, what is the value of x? So for this one, we know that 700 plus 1200 plus 1600 plus 1600 plus 20,000 plus x, divide all that by 5, equals 1600. Because that's just the average formula, or the formula to find the average. So this is going to equal 1600 times 5, because we're going to multiply by 5 on both sides. And then we just subtract all these numbers. So minus 700, minus 1200, minus 1600, minus 2000. This is going to equal 2500. And I know this before because I've done this. You can run through the math yourself to verify. But this should equal 2,500. And yeah, because here these total numbers, the sum of all these numbers is going to equal 5,500, and then 8,000 minus this is going to be 8,000 minus 5,500. That's going to equal 2,500. The relationship between x and y can be written as y equals mx, where m is a constant. If y equals 17 when x equals a, what is the value of y when x equals 2a? So I know that when y equals we know that y equals mx, where m is a constant. If y equals 17 when x equals a, what is the value of y when x equals 2a? So I know that when y equals ma, this is going to equal 17. So when y is going to equal m of 2a, that's just going to be 17 times 2. That's just 34. The answer is 34. If in the equation above a and b are constants and we want to find infinitely many solutions, this is just going to be, let's distribute this a of x plus a of b has to equal 4x plus 10. And then in order for this to have infinitely many solutions, we need to let a be 4, because in order for this to be infinitely many solutions, this slope of here, so 4x, should be the same as this 4x should be the same as a of x. So we're gonna let a be 4. So 4x plus 4b is gonna equal 4x plus 10. So we let this 4x and ax, we let these two become the same thing, and now we need to let this 4b equal 10. And then if you just do the math, 4b equals 10, therefore b is going to equal 10 over 4, which is going to equal 5 halves, which is going to equal 2.5. So b equals 2.5. A line that has an equation y equals c for some constant c intersects a parabola at exactly 1 point. So off the bat, since this is a parabola with a negative coefficient, I know that it looks like this. And if this line only intersects it at 1 point, it's going to be at the vertex. So I want to find the value of the vertex, and then of course, again, just for the sake of this video, I'm not going to go through just going through the vertex formula and all that stuff. I'm gonna just go directly to the graph and just do it from there and find the vertex, and then find the y value of said vertex. So this is going to be y equals negative x squared. I believe it's plus 2.5. No, plus 5x. Plus 5x. The value of this vertex is just going to be 6.25. And you can do this on a graphing calculator, but it's definitely useful to know. Definitely don't skip over just how to go from factored form to standard form to vertex form on parabolas. So this is going to be 6.25. Because we know that the value of this vertex is 2.5, 6.25. So this point is just 6.25. And then for this one, okay. It goes up to 200 miles per hour while diving to catch prey. And then, what is a peregrine falcon's maximum speed while diving to catch prey in feet per second? So I have 200 miles. And this is called dimensional analysis. If you guys have studied physics or chemistry, you guys will know what I'm doing. But 200 miles per hour, okay. We know that for every 1 mile, there is 5,280 feet. So this value, these units miles cancel. And then for every 1 hour, there is 3,600 seconds. So the answer for this is just going to be 200 times 5,280. Divide that by 3,600. So let's do that. 200 times 5,280. Divide that by 3,600. We're going to get 293.33 repeating. That is our answer. So 293.33. 293.33 feet per second. And now, if the peregrine falcon dove at its maximum speed for half a mile to catch prey, how many seconds would that dive take? So let me pull up this answer really quick. So the answer for this one would be 9, and let's just walk through how to do this. So 200 miles per hour, this problem is going to take a while, or not a while, it's just going to require some space. So I know that we go at speed of 200 miles per hour, and then if I want to find how many miles how much distance do I travel in half a mile, so 1/2 of a mile, how much do I travel, or how many hours I'm really sorry, guys. Um, I'm really sorry. Okay, so let's just restart. I'm gonna just restart that explanation. So I know that in 1 hour I drive 200, or the Peregrine Falcon dives. Uh, in 1 hour, the Peregrine Falcon dives 200 miles. So 1 hour. If it goes, so for 1/2 a mile, how many hours is that? And now we just, this is just basic ratios. So for here, I divided this by 400. So I just want to take this and divide this by 400. So 1 hour divided by 400, and then we want to see how many seconds would that dive take. So right now my time is 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, or no, 1/400th of an hour. And then let's just convert that to seconds, because I know 1 hour is going to be 3,600 seconds. And then this just is going to equal 9 seconds. So this is just a ratio, a proportion. I know that in 1 hour I can go 200 miles. If I go 1/2 mile, how many hours is that going to take me? And that's just going to take me, okay, 200 divided by 400 is going to be 1/2 mile. 1 hour divided by 400 is going to be 1/400th of an hour. And then we just do dimensional analysis. Hours, these hours cancel, times 3,600. We get 9 seconds. And that brings us to the end of the calculator portion of SAT practice test number 10. I'm sorry, guys, my voice is going away, and this video was kind of sloppy, but hopefully you guys can look past that and you guys benefited from this video. And I really do hope you guys just take something away from this video. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening.